Are we well? Yay! So on my way to the gig today, I saw a sign that says Stanmore, twinned with Carn. Now I've been to Carn, and what's there is drug dealers, graffiti and horseshit. So they really nailed it. I saw my dream home in the estate agent's windows, and they told me it would cost me arm and a leg to buy. But luckily, I live next to a graveyard. Countries are beginning to advertise themselves nowadays, which really annoys me, because they're very rarely true. They're always like, come to Scotland, where the views are great, and the people are friendly. When really it should be, come to Scotland, where the kebab shops are many, and the teeth are few. Did you know that 70% of gin made in the UK is actually made in Scotland? Which explains why every time I drink gin, I fancy a fight 70% of the time. Both my parents are alcoholics. I don't like to admit that though. They just give subtle hints. Just ask my brothers, Armstrong Fosters. To make flavoured gin, you have to use a mixture of flowers, fruit and nuts. But stop it tasting salty. Don't use your nuts. My father-in-law buys and plays with Scale Electrics, which surprised me. I didn't think you'd have 3 adult children, 9 grandkids, and still be considered a virgin. I caught my dad having a mini stroke yesterday. Don't worry, he's fine. He was waiting off a midget. He had a spotted dick for the first time last week, which was his way of telling me that he's got genital warts. All his mates keep on saying they can see a lot of my father and me, which surprised me. I thought I took all those videos down.
They're still up.
They're still up. That's my fucking royalties. So I was in my car, and this police officer was flashing his lights, going wee woo wee woo, and came right up my arse. And then he pulled out. And I took him home. My girlfriend's so sexy that she leaves me breathless, which is dangerous because I'm asthmatic. Shit, well, that one, isn't it? When she forgets to take her antidepressant, she acts like Hitler around the house. 999! It's the number I call. So I went to the drug clinic today and found out that it's now all done by phone. So I called the number and it went, if you want help with your marijuana addiction, please press hash. I made money hand over fist last week. I had a wank on OnlyFans. Subscribe? Yes! Yes!
It's too expensive.
Too expensive? What, 50 pence is too expensive, is it? It's a lot. Judging by you, you'd rather spend on the Freddo because of the size he is. Now, I've actually taken up refereeing to try and earn a bit of extra cash, and it's hard, you know, because all I get is abuse. Quite often I get, the referee's a wanker! So I've stopped doing that on the pitch. You're not fit to referee. No shit. I get out of breath telling the drive-through my McDonald's order. You don't know what you're doing. Which really hurt. Coming from my missus in bed. Yesterday I was attacked by an XL bully. It's the last time I've been on Weight Watchers. Guess Cheer, you're in a relationship? Really? Are you guys in a relationship? Yeah? Yeah? How'd you meet? Through friends at school? And how old are you? And your school friends are what, 14 and 13? Oh, you've been together 16 years? Oh, well done. Well done, fair enough. Well done. Yeah, if I could give a round of applause, everyone. So I actually met my missus at work, but all of our colleagues saw us crossing from friends into lovers, which apparently they didn't need to see at 10 in the morning. She absolutely loves it when I speak in a foreign language, even if she can't understand it. One day I said to her, "Je le sais, un caca dans la toilette." And she went, "Oh, that's so romantic." which is funny because it actually means I left the shit in the toilet. Does anyone else remember that skiing eat out to help out? Yeah? I did that loads with my missus, and she still refuses to cook my dinner. We have a kid together now, and so people have been offering me advice. And one piece of advice I've been given is to always follow your gut, because it's often right. So, when my daughter was having a 2-hour meltdown, I followed my gut, fucked off to McDonald's. Another piece of advice I've been given is try different type of nappy brand, see which ones you get on with. So naturally I've tried Pampers, I've tried Huggies, I've even tried Little Zone brand, all of which I found useless. None of them fit me. I've actually found out that they do diapers for adults. And when they get too full, they burst. And these little crystals go everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. My nan's had a vajazzle for weeks. Looking back at the whole baby process, I think the bit I struggled with most was the childbirth. Because it was wonderful, yet scary. Wonderful, because I got to see my daughter being born, but scary, because no one told me she would come out purple. So when she was born, my first thought wasn't, isn't she beautiful? It was, fuck, my partner's had an affair with Barney the dinosaur. When she was actually giving birth, I got all excited and yelled, I can see the head, I can see the head! And the nurse went, no, you idiot, she's just shat herself. That's on OnlyFans as well. And seeing my partner in pain was quite an awkward experience for me. And when I'm in awkward situations, I like to make jokes to alleviate the tension. My problem is the timing of these jokes. Like when she had to be induced to go into labour. And when they do this, they use a large metal hook to pop the embryo in a sack. So when the nurse put the hook up there, I couldn't help myself but go, if you hook a duck, it's a prize every time! Anyway, when my daughter was born, I promised myself I'd never become a deadbeat dad. You know, a deadbeat dad who contributes very little to the children and has nothing to do with them. Instead, I'll be a semi-deadbeat dad. Well, I'll do everything a normal deadbeat dad does, but with a semi. I do have some parenting experience though, as I'm actually a stepdad to 2 teenagers, which opened me up to new experiences. Like going to get breasts measured. And when I go, it's usually me and a bunch of mums and their daughters. And it's so awkward because all they do is look and stare. But I've got to say, I'm glad I've done it though. As I've now got confirmation that I'm a 38C. Has anyone been abroad this year?
Hey.
Where have you been?
Barcelona.
Barcelona, no, what, just for a holiday, lads? Or?
Yeah, stag do.
A stag do, nice. Was it your stag do? No?
I don't know.
You sure? Yeah. Oh, nice. Was it a long weekend? Or?
Yeah, 3 days.
Nice, nice. Come back drunk? Did the guy change a lamppost or?
No, although that sort of happened to Mark when we went to Barcelona for his stag do. That's
Well, that's something we can talk about later.
involves a pink dress and lots of vomit.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, whatever floats your boat, I guess. So.
I've done a stag do properly.
Stag do properly. Okay, well done. Fair enough. Well, I've actually recently been to America and discovered that after every meal that you have, you meant to give the waitress a tip. But when I tried, she asked me to put it back in my trousers. How could I not pick up the punchline, did it?
Hey!
Now, whilst I was out there, I actually met an American who told me she was bilingual. She told me she could speak English and American, which surprised me. I didn't think she knew what bilingual meant. Neither do you guys, apparently. No, I've got to say, whilst I was out there, they've absolutely butchered the English language, haven't they? Like, think about it. Over here is trousers. Over there is pants. Over here it's crisps. Over there it's chips. Over here it's schools. Over there it's shooting ranges. When I last flew with Ryanair, I had to ask for a seatbelt extender because I was too fat, which they charged me for. As if I didn't have enough on my plate. I find it interesting how fast food chains get their slogans from sexual dirty talk. Think about it, right? McDonald's, I'm loving it. KFC, it's finger looking good. And Burger King, it takes 2 to hold a Whopper. And realising this, it now makes perfect sense why my missus wants me to call her Fanny Subway. She takes a foot long.
Oh my god.
I used to play a lot of dodgeball in school. It wasn't a club. The teachers were just very touchy-feely. Now, when I tell people that I do stand-up comedy, they like to come up to me and tell me a joke, and they go, oh, you can have that one. Do you want to hear some of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, okay. So I've got it written down. A 7-year-old and a 4-year-old were in their bedroom, and they said to each other, shall we swear today? And they both went, yeah. So they went down for breakfast, and the mum said to the 4-year-old, what would you like for breakfast? And the 4-year-old went, I'll have Frosties, you bitch. She slapped him round the face. She then turned to the 7-year-old and said, what would you like for breakfast? And he said, I know one thing for sure, I don't want any fucking Frosties. I was in Harvester the other day, and they had a special offer on, so I ordered a rabbit. But when it came out, it had a massive hair in it. I'll let him know it's shit, don't worry. Right. I was in the pub, and this Thai bird was wearing a mini skirt, and she had her arse out, and her tits out here, and I thought, don't get an erection, don't get an erection. But she did. A man went to the doctors and said, I'm not feeling too well. My heart keeps racing, my head keeps spinning. The doctor said, I think you're going to have to stop masturbating. He said, why? Because I've got to examine you. Right, I'll leave you on this joke. I find it weird how you can do certain things at some ages, but not at others. Like if a 4-year-old runs around at the beach in just their knickers, no one bats an eyelid. But when I do it, I get asked where I got 4-year-old's knickers from. I've been Jack Bartlett, thank you for your time. Give it up to Jack. Yeah.